And I rise in strong support of S 3817, the Child Abuse and Prevention and Treatment Reauthorization Act of 2010. The Child Abuse and Prevention and Reauthorization Act is the only federal legislation that is exclusively dedicated to preventing, assessing, identifying, and treating the effects of child abuse and neglect. This reauthorization includes a number of important reforms for more use of the best practices in the child welfare system. First, the bill focuses on the vulnerable populations, unaccompanied homeless children, as well as children with disabilities. Second, the bill improves and strengthens the data collection and analysis to improve state coordination of overall services to help prevent child abuse. And third, we improve the training of people who work with abused and neglected children to ensure the best practices are followed and families remain whole where possible and children are removed from dangerous situations where needed. The Democratic Congress has taken swift action in the past to address issues of safety of our children in school and child care and in treatment facilities. It is clear we need to do more to help our children in their homes. This bill will also address domestic violence by reauthorizing the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act, and I want to thank the gentlewoman who just preceded me in the well here, Congresswoman Gwen Moore, for her leadership and efforts to highlight this important issue. It's a sad reality that during economic downturns, domestic violence occurrences happen more frequently. We know that nearly 1 in 4 women have been abused by a partner in their adult life, and 3 women have been killed by a partner every day in this country, and 50.5 million children are exposed to domestic violence each year. We know that women between the ages of 16 and 24 are at the greatest risk of being victims of domestic violence. That's why this legislation is so important, and that we allow dating violence and victims to be recognized as recipients of services under this legislation. It's very important, this legislation, to protect women from this violence. It was over 30 years ago when I visited the first shelter for victims of domestic violence in the San Francisco Bay Area, started by women to help protect women and to try to get them services, and later came to this Congress for its first appropriation for services to shelters protecting women from the domestic violence situation, and trying to show them how, if necessary, they would be able to live independently, or they would be able to provide counseling for their abuser and see whether or not children could be protected. That was a long time ago. We've come a long way in this country, but this legislation is incredibly important that we continue this effort to protect these most vulnerable partners in the relationships that are abused on an everyday basis in this country, still in numbers far too great for us to consider that this problem has been solved. I want to thank Congressman Klein, Mr. Guthrie, and Congressman Platts and others for their help on this legislation, and to Carolyn McCarthy, the subcommittee chair, for all of her work, all of her concern that she has expressed and devoted her time to with respect to both the issues of child abuse and of domestic violence that resulted in this legislation. I hope with these quick few changes we will be able to send this back to the Senate, and they will support that. And I want to thank the gentleman from the Northern Marianas for managing this very important piece of legislation on behalf of the committee.